Hey everybody, back at you again with another card tonight. Going to be doing TrapJaw from He-Man. I'm going to share this over with the page really quick and we'll get this knocked out and get it up to where everybody can check it out. And going to be knocking this one out very, very quickly. So, going to be pretty fast-paced. We're going to get going with it and go from there. So, hang tight. So, excuse the graphite stained hands that I have this evening. They are rather prominent. They have a gray tinge to them. It's because I was cleaning up some sharpeners that I have around the office, and I spilled one of them in my hands, and it has taken a toll and stained it. So that's always fun. It'll take a day or two for that to wear off. But even with hard scrubbing, once it's in your skin, it's in your skin. And if that volume of graphite gets spilled on you, it happens. But because I have like old school mounted sharpeners and taking them out and dumping them and all that every couple of days is a little risky. But I normally dump them as they get full individually. But I've been doing work all across the office and across the studio this last couple of days, and it's just got me in a bah humbug mood, as if it doesn't have any better term to express it. I've been knocking a bunch of stuff out, and I've just been keeping a lot of late hours, so it's just like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And it's like, do it tonight, slacker. But arguing with myself about it has come to an abrupt end, and I ended up doing it anyway. So I ended up spilling it on my hand, and then it spread to the other when I brushed it off. So naturally I have that going on, but it's the life of an artist, you know. So whatever works. I don't normally do stuff like that. I normally am very cautious about it, but today for some reason it just went awry. But could have been worse. Could have been paint, you know, and it could have been over some artwork, you know, some ink or paint or whatever. That would have made my day totally ruined. But instead, it was just a funny little accident that happened, you know. So I was like, oh well. And you can't take that stuff serious, you know. If you take yourself so serious, you're like, dang, I ruined my, you know, blah blah blah. It's just, I'm not quite that serious. Not quite that serious. As long as I'm not pressured for a deadline. If I get pressured for a deadline, or, you know, a client needs something like right away and something gets screwed up in that regard, that bugs me. But, you know, if it's just me doing regular routine work and something happens, I'm just like, man, and then I move on. You know, you have to expect things to happen. It's called the chaos factor. The rule of the universe is called the chaos factor in that rule book. And it will plague you. But that's okay, because that means you're not aware as you should be and paying quite as much attention as you should be. And that's when accidents happen. So you have to do that. You know, you need that natured wake-up call to jump in and say, you know, oh no, that kind of thing, and wake you up a little bit. It happens. It really does. It happens a lot more than you'd think. Now, I'm going animated on this one since I've been doing the whole set based off of the animated characters from the original series. I am not going fancy action figure version with this one and coloring it gray. I am going to color it the same color as the helmet and as it was in the cartoon. Of course, the cartoon version was technically a little different because it wasn't true red. It was a hot pink. And I always thought that was hilarious, but I just didn't want to go that route. Which I could have, you know, very easily. I've got the pink right here for it. But I decided to go red instead at the last moment. So that's why you're getting this version. And it mounts to a chest piece that's black. That's what that suit is right there. And then he's got, oh yeah, I wanted to put the red along this side too for like attachment. And anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go in with this bright blue for his suit, since he's so dark. Mr. Jim O'Reilly. What's up, buddy? Hey, Sean. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. It's coming out really cool. I've been digging this series a lot. I'm glad I decided to do it because I wasn't going to. Originally, I was not going to have animated series and stuff like that in here, but so many people wanted some diversity and some different angles on stuff, and to see how I would do, with animated stuff and other options, just rather than comic books, to basically show that I wasn't a one-trick pony. I decided to do a couple of these series, and that's why I added them on. But I mean, it's not about a contest or proving anybody wrong or anything crazy like that. I just like the diversity of it. It's really cool. So now what I did with this one is I put a little gear on the strap that goes with this kit on his shoulder here. I put it on the other shoulder where it straps around to hold this on, instead of it just being different pieces of armor and stuff. I made it one big strap set for his arm for his prosthetics to be on, and thought that was really cool. So I thought I would modernize it a little bit. I didn't go as far as the new modern cartoon they did a couple of years ago. That He-Man reboot was really nice. The animation was great. I thought it paid complete respect to the original series and concept. Now the new G.I. Joe that followed it kind of bothered me, and the Thundercats being manga bothered me very badly. Sorry, I got my blotter pages all over the place here. As you guys know, I've talked about that many times before. That bothered me a bit, but it's growing on me, and as long as I don't do the Tiger Sharks that way, we'll be fine. The Tiger Sharks and Mask, the way DC's rebooted the Mask comic, I really enjoyed that. I think it was through IDW they did that. I don't remember if that's who they did it through or not, but yeah, I thought a lot of that was really cool. So I'm going to darken up the screen a little bit because it feels a little thin to me. Just darkening up it a little bit here and there, making it pop out a little more. There we go. Cool deal. Now, I'm not going to leave any highlights on this because of the fact that this is supposed to be a dull armor. It's not highlighted, so he's got kind of a creeper thing going on, and I always like that about him because these villains hide in the shadows really easy, and I always like that about this character. And in the new He-Man movie that they're talking about doing, they're supposed to have it come out in December of 2019. Excuse me for my cough there, clearing my throat. They're supposed to have it come out in 2019 to keep the rights for it. So I don't know. Sony's known for pushing pictures like that because they did that with Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 to keep the license when it was about to expire in 2001, and they hammered out the 3 trilogy film with film set with Tobey Maguire back to back in that regard. So who knows what they'll do with He-Man. I'm hoping they take a darker tone with it, but I don't know. They could really screw that one up rushing it as quickly as they are, because as far as I know, they haven't even started shooting yet. I mean, I've seen set stuff of effects and preps and whatnot, and I've talked about that before. Them showing little snippets of things that they just started testing and stuff. And I thought they were actually in production, but I was mistaken on that, and they're not. They don't even start production until next month, until March. And that's pretty spooky, man, when you think about it. Now I'm going to do this kind of like a cybernetic implant to go into his system here and attach to his chest from a different aspect, so this kit looks like it's part of the whole thing. And this is going to be like a little armor plate here to protect the edge. And then I'm going to make these some rivets on here just to pop a little more color into it, because I don't have all the cool color from his waist and his pant, his waist and his legs and thigh pads and stuff, where he has that cool green popping out in places. So I'm just going to kind of put some dark gray on these stitches. And I'll put a little bit of gray in the eye here, just on that one side. And then I think I'm going to change this bolt here to a gray. That looks good. Now with that, I'm going to come in on this underside here and put in just a little black to pop it out. Make him have a little bit of a tone to him. And then we're going to run off with this thing and call it done. I'll put something around him, as I always do, in this open area. Just kind of shaping it up a little bit. And tomorrow I'm going to have who is it? The Grifter from Wildcats. I drew that card a while back, and I'm going to put that one on tomorrow. I was going to do that today, but the unfortunately the ink didn't set. But yeah, I'm going to do a little more research on the He-Man movie, because they've got a couple of trailers that are out, and it's looking really good, just like the Thundercat stuff, but they haven't started official production yet. So they're putting out little snippets, you know what I mean? They're doing tests and things like that instead of doing the real McCoy and sticking it out there. So that Thundercats thing is definitely out, but the He-Man stuff is just really smoky images like they did for 2 years with Batman versus Superman, and I'm hoping that with it coming out in 2019, they're going to kick it out soon. But like I said, with Sony, we're going to have to wait and find out, because I have a bad feeling that they're going to miss the mark and lose that license, and it's going to revert back to Mattel, and then they'll be able to have whoever they want do it. So we'll have to see where it goes. But who knows? They could pull it off. Sony has done stranger things. Just depends on who they get on top of it, because they've got a couple of people rumored to it as directing it and writing it right now to rush it out. And it's been a couple of, big name directors that are known for coming out with really good stories and then directing not so well. So we'll have to see how it goes. I think that's going to work. I really do. I think that's going to work. Yay! But anyway. Hey Jim, glad you made it on, man. Yeah, it actually would be. If you watch the Cartoon Network, if you go online and check it out, you can go online and check it out. It's on YouTube. You can go on and check out the pilot episode for the new Cartoon Network version of He-Man that was done a couple years ago, and you can get the Skeletor backstory in the pilot as to how he became Skeletor and went from the main enemy of the Council on Eternia and became Skeletor, and how he actually got his face burned when he went to kill the king and ended up screwing himself up and burning his face off. He was trying to kill him and throw acid on him that was supposed to poison him, and he ended up basically doing a Two-Face thing and burning his face and turning himself into Skeletor as we know him now. So check that out, and you'll get a good, I don't know, 60, 90 minutes, I think it is. I've got it on DVD, but I haven't watched it in a while. And if you check it out, you'll get that going on. But anyway, I would love to see a good Skeletor story out of it. I mean, I was a kid when Masters of the Universe came out, and it was a high-end disappointment. I mean, Dolph Lundgren had the look, but can't talk tonight. But he had the look, but the script and the effects just weren't there. I mean, it was bad. It was so bad. And it was just horrible. But it was a sign of the times too, though, you know. Let's see. I think I've got this. There we go. Put a little bit right there on that buckle just to break it up a little. And maybe up under here. Let's see. Yeah, that looks cool. All right. Now, I'm going to go over here and since I didn't use this in the card, I'm going to go ahead and put this 1980s style hot pink right around the edge here. And if you missed Predator yesterday, you guys be sure and go back and check that out because it came out great. Even though it has that little hair of an edge snag on it, it still came out really cool. Really, really, really cool. I enjoyed that. It was a fun piece. And I really dig those movies, so that's a huge thing for me. Let's see if I can color this in without shaking the table to death here. Okay, cool. There we go. Looking good. Okay. I like it, I like it, I like it. So, trying to see how this is going to go here. I think it's going to go off pretty good. There were a lot of purples and a lot of pop pinks in this series. In the original, mainly in Adam's pants, which was kind of strange, but whatever. That was the fantasy thing of the 80s. If anything had to do with castles or, you know, warlords or fantasy of any kind in the 80s, everybody used bright pinks and bright purples as a thing for that, and it always cracked me up the way they do that. I don't know what's under here causing that card to have that little sketch mark there, but whatever. Sometimes when you have eraser debris or whatever, it'll have little nicks in it, and then the paper will have them as well, so that's where that comes from. And I'm sorry if you guys think that I'm not talking too much, because I'm not. Because I've been recording my marketing podcast all day, and I have a course coming up on it as well. Oh, I do not want to snag that. I bowed it back this way. I do not want to snag that. That would definitely be a bummer. But anyway, I recorded, I think, 6 episodes today, so it was pretty cool, man. I do some high-level training in that stuff, and that's the reason I'm able to do it the way I am, because it's training. It's raw information. It's not just, you know, interviews from week to week like my comic Kickstarter podcast is, where I have to record those in segments. I can record those marketing podcasts a lot differently. So as I go along, I give you guys examples of what's up there. So that's where it comes from. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And just so you guys get a glimpse at the last couple of days, we've got TrapJaw there. We've got the Punisher coming up. I've got a new Punisher piece from War Journal that I wanted to add on to this too, but I didn't get to it this week, so I'm going to have to keep that going. So we've got TrapJaw, we've got Stillwell, we've got the Predator from last night, Panthro, the Copper Kid, and Mako from the Tiger Sharks as this week's main string so far. Hope you guys can see all of those. Push that up a little bit. Yay, there they all are. Cool. All right, now I'm going to get these out of the way and get back to this one. But that's the Predator from last night, and that came out really well. I was very, very pleased with that. Now that I've got this week's cards knocked out, I've got to get them all prepped up and ironed out and all that. And I like to press these and, you know, put a finish on them. I press them out so they don't get scuffed up, and they keep them. They maintain the polished look. But anyway, that's the snag I was talking about. Right there, there's a little tiny, whoop, it's on this side, little tiny snag right there. But that's unfortunate. But whoever gets this one, if you decide you want it, when the sketchbook comes out, if you want it, I'll give it to you, and I'm going to put a piece of tape on that after I flatten it out so it doesn't curve and the tape makes it coil anyway. I'm going to flatten it out, tape it up, and then I'll put a notice in there with it to show that it came from this video of last night with it, so that you guys will be able to have the value of it for whatever it is. But anyway, it's a sketch card from this set, so I'm not really concerned with it too much. The value is still there if you want it. But anyway, as for this one tonight, this is done. TrapJaw from He-Man. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I didn't talk a lot, but like I said, I'm exhausted today, and I apologize for that. I'll try to get recharged for tomorrow's card and do it earlier. And until next time, we've got the Grifter coming tomorrow night, or actually tomorrow. I hope not tomorrow night. I'd like to get these back up. I'm serious. I'd like to get them back up in the daytime like I have them. But anyway, until next time, you guys know how it goes. We got this rock. Hang on to it for one. You got it, and try to make it better for the world tomorrow. Talk to you later.